This video is brought to you by Tata Consultancy Services, India's largest information technology and consulting services company, building greater futures through innovation and collective knowledge.
The spectacular Taj Mahal is the pinnacle of Mughal architecture. Built by a grief-stricken Shah Jahan as a monument to his beloved wife, it is often considered the ultimate symbol of love. Marble from Makrana, turquoise from Tibet, diamonds from Deccan, and other precious stones from all over the world, Shah Jahan demanded nothing but the best for the Taj. It makes you picture Shah Jahan as a man who could dream up graceful buildings, a man with an artistic eye and a sensitive soul. But behind that beautiful facade lie blood-curdling stories of blindings, backstabbings, and brutal murders.
Consider this. Of Shah Jahan's 4 sons, his third son Aurangzeb had one of his brothers executed on doubtful charges, made another flee India for life, and had the third beheaded on the streets of Delhi. Oh, he also imprisoned his father and crowned himself king. Later on, he exiled one of his own sons and imprisoned 2 other sons. One of them went on to become the next king, but only after killing 2 of his siblings. But then Shah Jahan himself was a seasoned hand at this brutal Game of Thrones. He became king after killing off all his rivals, including his own family members. His father, Emperor Jahangir, had his own eldest son blinded and imprisoned. What was wrong with this family? Were all these men born with a kink in their heads? Perhaps, but there was a deeper problem here: the Mughal system of succession. Our story today is about this system, which made Shah Jahan the most triumphant of all Mughal kings and its most tragic victim.
Shah Jahan ruled over a large empire that was also the richest in the world at that time. The Mughal dynasty was at its peak and arts and crafts flourished. Some of the most iconic Mughal monuments were built during this period. But behind that shining facade, there were deep cracks. The royal family was plagued by power struggles. Let's look at how Shah Jahan came to power. Shah Jahan was not his father Jahangir's eldest son. That would be Khusro, a prince who was so popular with the common people that many expected him to inherit the throne ahead of his own father Jahangir. Jahangir did not like this one bit, so he had his 19-year-old son imprisoned and later gruesomely blinded.
Shah Jahan now became heir apparent, but Khusro was still alive and a potential rival to the throne. So Shah Jahan had his hapless blind brother murdered in cold blood. Jahangir died in 1627. As luck would have it, Shah Jahan was in Deccan, far away from Delhi. Immediately, his stepbrother Shahryar declared himself king. Shah Jahan rushed back, defeated Shahryar, and had him executed. What followed was a series of merciless executions. Stepbrothers, cousins, and every single potential rival to the throne was done away with. Was Shah Jahan being unreasonably cruel? Oddly enough, he was merely following the norm of the time. If he had not killed them, they would have killed him. But why?
To answer that, we have to look at the Mughal system of succession. In most kingdoms, the eldest prince becomes the next king. It is called primogeniture. The Mughals, though, did it differently. Initially, they tried following the system of their ancestors, the Mongols. It is called the co-parsonary system, where the kingdom is divided between the sons. But soon it turned into a mad winner-take-all scramble, where brothers, cousins, nephews raised armies and battled each other until one prince was left standing. That survivor, the next king, was the toughest and arguably the most suited to run the kingdom. This succession system was brutal, but it worked well for the Mughals, initially at least. Shah Jahan himself was a spectacular product of this Mughal succession philosophy, until it came back to bite him.
Shah Jahan's eldest son was Dara Shikoh, his blue-eyed boy and the next in line. His third son, Aurangzeb, deeply resented this. In 1658, Shah Jahan fell ill and an ugly war of succession broke out between the siblings even while Shah Jahan was alive. Aurangzeb defeated Dara, paraded him through the streets of Delhi, and then had him beheaded in full view of his young son. According to one account, he even presented the severed head to Shah Jahan on a platter. Shah Jahan spent his last years under house arrest in Agra. When he died, Aurangzeb even denied him a state funeral and had him buried quietly at the Taj Mahal.
Under Aurangzeb, the Mughal kingdom grew to its largest size. But the brutal succession system was taking its toll with unexpected fallouts. The bloodbaths meant that there were very few eligible bachelors left alive, and so many Mughal princesses were forced to remain spinsters because they could not find grooms of an equal status outside the Mughal clan. All three daughters of Shah Jahan never married. The system continued to play itself out with weaker and weaker kings on the throne until 1857, when the last Mughal king was deposed by the British. Were these succession battles unique to the Mughals? Not really. Even Emperor Ashoka, the king who helped spread Buddhism, came to power only after killing the crown prince and many stepbrothers. And there were many others like him across the country. But while these kings were exceptions to the rule, for the Mughals, this was the norm.
Was one system better than the other? In primogeniture, the crown always went to the eldest son. The transition was smooth and predictable, and it did not fragment the kingdom. But was the eldest son always the most competent? The Mughal system, on the other hand, weeded out the weaklings, but succession was always fraught with uncertainty, and it sat the most brutal man on the throne. It put family members at loggerheads, resulting in much tragedy. The public execution of Dara Shikoh by his brother Aurangzeb was perhaps the starkest example of how ugly this system could get. And yet, in later years, Aurangzeb had his daughter married to Dara Shikoh's son and his son married to Dara's daughter. Clearly, the enmity between Mughal siblings was not a matter of vengeance, but a means of survival.
So the question we should reflect on perhaps is not whether these kings were good, bad or evil, but whether they were strong and ruthless enough to get to the top and therefore to survive. Shah Jahan lived by a system that put him on the throne of the richest kingdom in the world. But that very same system extracted a hefty price in return. Shah Jahan was indeed a triumphant king, and yet a man who lived a terribly tragic life.
Did you like this story? There are many such fascinating stories of India waiting to be told. We would like to thank our sponsor, Tata Consultancy Services, for helping us bring the story to you. Tata Consultancy Services is an IT services, consulting and business solutions organization. Over the last 50 years, it has been a partner to some of the largest organizations in the world, helping them in their transformation journey. It has also been closely associated with projects to restore and showcase India's heritage to the world, and Story Trails is proud to collaborate with Tata Consultancy Services, building on the shared belief of bringing these lesser-known stories of India's heritage and culture to you.